Welcome back to Red Band of Destiny, here for another episode of Show of the Year. We're, of course, still covering 2017's American Vandal, and we are on the very last episode of Season 1, called Cleanup. So it's a bit weird that the penultimate episode is Climax, and then Cleanup is like a post-episode, but I guess this is where everything kind of concludes. So Mackenzie's alibi is shown. Alibi turns out to be her doing some sort of strip poker with Fortnite or whatever she's playing. And Dylan was in the footage, and because, obviously she wasn't wearing a shirt, nudity didn't want to, it also showed she was cheating on Dylan, so she didn't really want to reveal that until things really heat up at the end of the show here. And that obviously exonerates Dylan. He could not have done the dicks. He was right there in the video, timestamped, geotagged, everything. So he lawyers up and gets all that sorted out. There's a funny little gag when they first show it to the lawyer. He sees it, and he's like, "Whoa, I can't look at that." He's like, "Those are minor tits. I can't look at those." And Dylan's like, "Those aren't minor tits." Yeah, I think it's stupid, but it's funny. And then Dylan actually watches American Vandal for the first time and realizes that most people did not like him very much at the beginning of the series. And to be fair, people said some really mean shit in these interviews. Like, you'd think they'd think that someone might say this. It's for a documentary that your classmates will most likely watch. But no, they don't do that. But they all end up at an after prom party. That's where Dylan sees American Vandal, and he kind of gets pissed off and leaves. Sarah Pearson gets very mad at Peter Maldonado because of he putting her personal messages about her hookups in a documentary. Yep, morality of that is pretty questionable. And then Ming, I guess, chokes on some alcohol. He's doing the whole, the tube with the he poured beer down the tube. I don't know, stupid college, high school bullshit. And it's like, does anyone know CPR? And Krista runs out and says, anyone know CPR? Krista, who is supposed to have had CPR training, who used CPR training as an alibi, and who was her instructor, Vandalori, the person she was dating. Suspicious. And Vandalori is a similar build to... I keep forgetting people's names. To Dylan. Sorry. So they look fairly similar from a distance. And then they eventually get an interview with Krista, conveniently after graduation. And so the show, it doesn't go out and say that Krista did it, but it's heavily implied that she did it. And I'm willing to just, that's what I say. But I do think it should be kept as a pseudo cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger with an obvious solution. There's no suspects left. Everyone else has been cleared, except for Krista. But then Peter kind of does this whole really shouldn't judge people thing, and it's all very bittersweet. It's like, oh, high school's only 4 years of your life, and it's a nice ending. I do like the way they end the show. And they also had Dylan vandalize. Oh, what's the teacher's name? Shapiro. Vandalize Shapiro's driveway. And being the idiot that he is, he thinks that because he drew the dicks in the style that were done on the cars, it couldn't have been him. It's like, yeah, but you already knew that fact. You can't. He's an idiot. Let's just leave it at that. So yeah, not really a great ending for Dylan there. Not really a great ending for anyone, really. I guess Peter learns a lesson, but other than that, you know, bittersweet. But yeah, rewatching season 1 here, I'm definitely still a huge fan of American Vandal. I should point out that I just did this whole season in one day, in one sitting. So, yeah, it's pretty binge worthy. Even if you've seen it multiple times, it's binge worthy. And I am pretty certain this is going to end up being my show of the decade. The only real competitor is Rick and Morty. I don't want to be definitive about that until I've actually gone and rewatched Rick and Morty. But I'm leaning pretty heavily onto American Vandal. It's just expertly crafted at every point. It's a very complicated plot with foreshadowing all over the place, deliberate plot holes that are then wrapped up later. It's, in my opinion, a masterpiece. That might be going too far, but I do really love this series. And of course, we still have a whole nother season to go through for Show of the Year of 2018. In case you didn't know, this show is everything that is released that year. So if they released some webisodes, that counts. And 2018, almost exactly a year after this one came out, we got season 2, and no season 3, unfortunately. It seems not everybody was a massive fan. Actually, let's look at the critical response here. See, it won a Peabody Award, and it was nominated for Critics' Choice Television Award, Writers Guild of America Award, Primetime Emmy Award. Wait, these are 2018 awards. So those are either for season 1 or season 2. Oh, the Writers Guild Award must be for season 1 because it says new series. But yeah, and then even season 2 is pretty popular. Rotten Tomatoes, 98% approval rating. 8.07 out of 10. So it seems odd that the Netflix didn't greenlight season 3, which is a shame. But we'll be back next week. We're going to jump straight into season 2, show of the year for 2018. Hope you will join us then.